NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
The big story today, the fire threat that continues to plague Texas. KXAN NBC Austin is your source to keep your family safe from the fire dangers. We have live team coverage all over Central Texas. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Vias. Fires continue to smolder in several Texas counties today. This video was taken just minutes ago from KXAN Live Chopper 36. Within the last hour, crews were called out to this fire burning just west of Dripping Springs there in Hays County. According to officials, the fire is located in an area near Old Ranch Road and Henley Loop. So far, no structures are threatened. Meanwhile, Texas emergency officials confirmed 4 deaths in the wildfires that have burned more than 100 buildings, including 78 homes statewide, and more than 13,000 acres are charred. At least 3 other people are unaccounted for after these fires in Cross Plains, about 150 miles southwest of Dallas. 25 homes or weather will help those efforts. Well, back here in Central Texas, crews finally snuffed a brush fire which burned several hundred acres out in Llano County. This blaze raged out of control for half the day Tuesday. No reports of injuries or property damage. A welder's torch sparked the blaze, but despite this fire and a burn ban, officials in Llano approved a controlled ban on several hundred acres today. Connie Sweeney joins us live with this story. What's going on, Connie?
Well, Michelle, I'm here off Highway 71, and it's just outside of Llano. Here is the spot where the fire burned out of control yesterday. If you take a look, all that's left basically scorched earth. There are some smoldering piles, so it's been pretty much taken care of. But it was another fire in another part of the county that had some concern about this happening again, a wildfire running out of control. Now, officials say they allowed it to actually try to decrease the fire danger. Now, workers and firefighters monitored this burning on several hundred acres off Highway 29. The Chanas family got permission in November for permits and guidelines to do it. Now, requirements included cutting fire breaks in advance around the area. Now, despite the current fire dangers, officials say they followed the state policy that allows or gives permission for this to happen.
By controlling this, which is the state law, then it does.
With that, and they finished it up this afternoon. Now, some of you are probably wondering how to keep your home safe when there's a fire threat such as this. Haley Stavino is following this story from Pflugerville. Haley?
That's right, Connie. Several hundred homeowners got a real scare on Saturday here in Pflugerville. As you can see, a grass fire believed to have started way over there by that apartment complex, traveled, burning 200 acres in this field. Now it's nothing but charred grass. But witnesses say they saw flames traveling and swirling around. Here's what it looked like on Saturday. Take a look at this video.
Residents, evacuate your houses! Residents, evacuate your houses!
What you're hearing is a Pflugerville police officer warning homeowners that they need to get out.
All right, an interruption in some tea times early today. A live picture from KXAN Chopper 36 first at 4 showing this golf course, which has been evacuated all day. You're looking at a live picture from Southwest Travis County from Chopper 36. Now, we've been told that you're looking at the Fazio Canyons golf course on Henry Marks Lane. Now, that area is part of the Barton Creek Country Club. They have 4 golf courses there, and this is affecting only one of them, the Fazio Canyons. Travis County Sheriff's officials got a criminal mischief call around 6 this morning near the golf course where someone detonated a device. And then around 9 this morning, a larger device was found on a golf ball retrieval machine at that course, the Fazio Canyons golf course in Southwest Travis County. Travis County Sheriff's Office, the ATF, FBI, you can see all those authorities still out there, and fire marshals are still investigating. A follow-up now. The owner of 6 dogs that attacked and killed a Milam County woman has pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor. He's been ordered to pay a fine for 6 citations for failure to evacuate to your destination. And another live look from KXAN Chopper 36. NBC Austin is the only station in Central Texas that can give you this aerial view. Thank you very much, Jim. Well, the only TV helicopter in town, Chopper 36, is following breaking news. Here's a live look in Williamson County where a construction worker is now recovering at Brackenridge Hospital after falling off that Palmer Bridge at RM 620 this afternoon. The worker fell from the bridge shortly after 3:30 this afternoon, we're told, and was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. KXAN has a crew at the bridge gathering the latest information. Look for an update on the man's health tonight on KXAN News at 6. Well, there's more news ahead right here on KXAN NBC Austin. Stay with us.
What's the secret to a long...
Michelle Vyas, only on KXAN NBC Austin.
Residents, evacuate your houses!
Frantic warnings by Pflugerville police trying to get people out of the path of a raging fire.
A controlled burn over several hundred acres today in the Hill Country, and officials gave it their blessing. I'm Connie Swinney. I'll have more on that coming up.
And some folks are finding the price of clean air too steep, while Bastrop mechanics are seeing more Travis and Williamson County drivers.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news at 6.
Fire and the threat of more fires tops area news today. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Vyas. Robert Hadlock is off today. Just a short time ago, KXAN's Live Chopper 36 captured pictures of this fire burning just west of Dripping Springs. According to Hays County officials, the fire is located in an area near Old Ranch Road and Henley Loop. No structures are threatened. Now, some careless play with fireworks scorched more than 100 acres of land in Pflugerville last week, but some quick action by police may have averted a worse tragedy. KXAN's Haley Stavanoa joins us live from Pflugerville with those details. Haley?
That's right, Michelle. Homeowners here in Pflugerville off of Schultz Lane got a real scare on Saturday. That is after a grass fire believed to have started by those apartments traveled through this field, covering several hundred acres very quickly, threatening several...
Day approaches. Tell you more in just a few minutes.
Well, a bomb scare closed the Fazio Canyons golf course in southwest Travis County for much of the day. The course was evacuated after 2 homemade explosive devices went off. The first detonated on a roadway leading up to the course on Henry Marks Lane near Barton Creek Boulevard. The second device was found under the seat of a vehicle used to collect golf balls. Thankfully, no injuries. Federal agents in the fire marshal's office have joined the Travis County Sheriff's Department in this investigation. A construction worker is in critical condition at Brackenridge Hospital after falling from the bridge at Palmer Lane and RM 620 in Williamson County this afternoon. That accident happened around 3:30. And in North Austin, an 18-wheeler smashed into a portable building in the lot of Trailers Extreme, which is a business near Wells Branch Parkway. The cab of the big rig flipped over after hitting some other vehicles in the lot. Police say the truck driver may have lost control after another vehicle cut him off. His injuries are not life-threatening and no one else was hurt. There's another shakeup in the central Texas town of Lockhart as the city's chief of police calls it quits. Here's a portion of Chief Frank Coggin's letter of resignation to city manager Clovia English. In it, he says the frivolous...
Stay on NBC.
Wildfires take a human toll in Texas. We'll show you the latest damage and the spot here in central Texas that's causing concern.
Small-town turmoil in Lockhart. The police chief resigns. I'm Jim Bergamo, and I've got the story coming up.
Call themselves street performers, and they say since the city's new ordinance, they've been kicked off of 6th Street. I'm Jenny Hoff, and I'll tell you how these artists and musicians are fighting back.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news at 10.
Good evening, I'm Michelle Vyas. Robert is off tonight. The wildfires sweeping across Texas have turned deadly. The fires caused at least 4 deaths in different locations, and at least 15 firefighters have been treated for smoke inhalation or heat exhaustion. Tomorrow, Governor Rick Perry plans to travel to one of the most affected areas, Cross Plains near Abilene, to visit with local authorities and survey the damage. KXAN's Laura Skirty shows us where the flames flared up today, a new video that shows just what those in the line of fire face.
We got a massive fire. See if you can come in off of Meister, but it's crossing the roadway on the west side of the road over to the east.
This newly released dashboard video shows just what emergency crews were up against in Pflugerville Saturday.
And the wind was blowing so hard, and you know, after 2 minutes, there was fire all over the place.
Winds gusting up to 45 miles an hour, fanning flames over more than 100 acres, licking the backyard fences of nearby neighborhoods.
The first thing is my house, And you know, and for me, I was just praying as we were watering and digging out water hoses.
Just the beginning of a fiery 5 days here in Texas.
Hose it.
From Llano to Dripping Springs and dozens of hot spots in between, the dangerous combination of parched land, hot and dry weather, and gusty winds is choking the Lone Star State.
Real easy to get trapped, to get surrounded, and get in trouble real quick.
And we are far from out of the woods here in Central Texas. In fact, fire marshals have long pointed to this spot just outside downtown Austin in the hills of western Travis County as having the potential for a huge wildfire disaster, a situation that could be similar to the devastation we see in Cross Plains, Texas this week.
Yeah, I've never been in a war zone, but it looks like what I could imagine one might look like.
In this small North Texas town alone, 2 elderly women dead, 50 homes and the community's landmark church destroyed.
Too many students of mine lost homes, friends, community members. It's just, I don't know what we're going to do right now.
But state emergency crews do.
We're currently on state active duty for fire suppression.
3 aircraft on standby here at Austin's airport.
Essentially what the UH-60 Blackhawk's capability is, it has a 660-gallon water bucket, so we can drop 660 gallons of water.
Preparing to fight, one flare-up at a time. Laura Skirty, KXAN, NBC, Austin.
And good evening, I'm Jim Spencer from the KXAN First Warning Weather Center. We had a lull in the wildfire activity across central Texas, in fact, most of the state today, and here's why. Very little wind out there. These are current wind speeds and the wind not blowing at all in many locations, but we are not out of the woods yet, and here's the reason this is all happening.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news first at 4.
I'm Robert Hadlock, live in Beverly Hills, California, covering the Longhorns and their fans, along with Roger Wallace. We'll have a report coming up.
The first police shooting of the year proves to be a deadly one. I'm Santa Henderson. I'll tell you what happened in a live report.
But first at 4, smoke over Austin. Why wildfires to the north are causing this haze. Good day to you. I'm Chris Willis, first at 4. The fire threat remains extremely high for Texas this afternoon. Take a look. Today alone, a fire. At least 200 homes and businesses are also destroyed. And all of that is to blame for the smoke you're seeing and smelling in the air of central Texas. Our Haley Stavanoa continues our live team coverage from Liberty Hill. Haley?
Chris, it's that smoky haze that has had residents out here in Williamson County on alert all day. Fire departments from Georgetown to Liberty Hill and Leander have been getting calls from residents. Residents are calling in and reporting that they see smoke when in fact it's nothing more than the haze coming into town from those fires in North Texas. Now, Georgetown Fire Department did get called out on a grass fire today. Witnesses say they heard firecrackers going off. Minutes later, they saw more coming up in weather.
All righty, Laura, thank you for that. More local news now. One woman is shot and kidnapped, and then the kidnapper is shot dead after a standoff with a SWAT team. Our Santa Henderson is live with reaction from Chief Stan Nee. This is the first police-involved shooting of the year. Santa?
Well, Chris, Chief Nee says the dead man, Fidel Macedo, didn't give the SWAT team a choice. Now, this is what happened. Fidel Macedo supposedly was shot while he was holding his ex-girlfriend hostage. This after he'd already shot her inside the Southeast Austin home after a New Year's Eve celebration. The two had partied with the homeowners, but ended up having an argument. Now, that's when Macedo beat the woman, shot her, then took her to his home. Once police got there, he shot into the air. Then SWAT arrived. Chief Nee says negotiations failed, and Macedo was pistol whipping the woman.
One SWAT officer fired one shot.
Police Department, I'm Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC, Austin.
Santa, thank you. An early morning fire destroys the home of an Austin TV News personality. Around 2 o'clock this morning, the Austin Fire Department was called out to news anchor Judy Maggio's home on Marsh Creek Drive. Maggio and her family were out of town. Firefighters had a tough time battling those flames. NBC Nightly News at 5:30, and as always, Access Hollywood is coming up next. We'll see you at 6.
A woman is kidnapped and the alleged kidnapper is dead. I'm Santa Henderson. Coming up, we'll explain why police say they had to shoot him.
A surprise announcement from Carol Keaton Strayhorn. We have the new developments in the race for governor. Longhorns making a strong presence in California. We are live with the story.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news at 6.
But first, live team coverage on the haze over central Texas skies and the smell of Texas fires. that took many by surprise today. We're going to break it down for you with meteorologist Laura Scurdy, but first, Haley Stavanoa is live in Williamson County with more on today's fire threat. Haley, what's the latest?
NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
Grass fires continue to torment the Midwest. I'm Jay Gray. We'll have the very latest from Texas.
Good day to you. We begin with brush fires right here in Central Texas. Breaking news first at 4. KXAN Live Chopper 36 is over a fire about 20 miles east of Taylor. The fire started earlier this afternoon and is spreading in the area off FM 619. We're told brush trucks from Hutto, Round Rock, and Georgetown are fighting this fire, and this is just one of several fires today that have flared up in Williamson County. KXAN News has been told that firefighters there are asking for help from the Texas National Guard. So far, no homes have burned in this fire, but we will keep you posted on any late developments. This fire in West Travis County is now contained. Within the last hour, a car crash sparked the flames along Loop 360 near Pascal Lane. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is on the ground with the late-breaking developments there. Jenny, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you as well. Now, witnesses say at about 2:45, a car that was traveling on 360 went off the road and into that embankment where it then sparked a grass fire. Now, as EMS arrived, they found one person dead inside the car, another person with minor injuries. Deputies are down there about 35 feet down into that embankment right now, still investigating the scene. But as I said, the crash also sparked a grass fire, which is another sign of the very dry conditions out there right now. Luckily for firefighters, because the wind is not blowing too hard today, they were able to contain it pretty quickly, although they are still looking for hot spots. Now, they just started moving traffic southbound on 360, but you can see it is still very slow going. Only one lane of traffic is open, and there's a good stretch of this road on southbound 360 that is being taken up by the ambulances and the fire trucks and the deputies' cars. So if you do plan on traveling this way anytime soon, you might want to find an alternate route. Now, we're still waiting for the latest information on this crash, and we will bring it to you as soon as we get it. Reporting live from 360, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Jenny, thank you for that. Firefighters remain.
And NBC Austin.
Haley, thanks. There is an alert for women today after a sexual assault in South Austin. It happened around 4:30 Sunday morning in the 4500 block of Bannister Lane. A 28-year-old woman says an Hispanic man climbed through a window of her home and sexually assaulted her. The suspect was seen taking off on foot in this area, wearing a dark jacket, light pants, and a baseball cap. Anyone with information should call the APD Sex Crimes Tip Line. That number is 974-5095. An investigation is underway right now after an early morning fire in East Austin. The fire started just before 6 at a house in the 1100 block of Estes Avenue. No one was injured. Well, switching gears to today's Longhorn fanfare, the buildup is growing. Another Central Texas wildfire creeps dangerously close to homes. See what it takes to fight these flames today.
And a Round Rock couple is found shot inside their home. Neighbors say they didn't hear a thing. Coming up, I'll have more on the investigation.
I'm Robert Hadlock, live at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, where the excitement is building for Longhorn coaches, fans, and players. Live report coming up.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening. Another rash of grass fires is keeping Central Texas firefighters on their toes today. Take a look. This fire started early in the afternoon and spread along FM 619 northeast of Taylor. Brush trucks from Hutto, Round Rock, and Georgetown helped fight those flames back. And at one point, they crept dangerously close to a home. So far, no structures have been burned in this fire. Some of those same firefighters had just come from another scene that scorched a few more acres near Copeland. That's in far southeast Williamson County. At this point, no word on what caused either of those fires. A quick turn of the page to a deadly car crash that sparked this brush fire in West Austin. A car ran off the road at Loop 360 in Pascal Lane, crashing into an embankment. When the car caught fire, 2 passers-by tried to extract the driver, but they say he resisted. He died at the scene. Austin firefighters were able to control the fire quickly, but they are monitoring some hot spots. Another 200 acres scorched in New Braunfels. Get this, major grass fires have burned about 200,000 acres and more than 115 homes in Texas since just Sunday. Add to that record temperatures. Our Jim Spencer's following that in the First Warning Weather Center. Jim?
Yeah, the drought conditions, the low.
Well, I'll tell you what, a busy time for news helicopters the last few days. Breaking news out of Comal County, now a brush fire burning in New Braunfels at this hour. The fire started this afternoon around 2 o'clock. It's already burned 200 acres. Firefighters from throughout the area are fighting that fire, and so far, as you take a look at that picture, the smoke from the fire is not affecting traffic along I-35. We'll keep an eye on that for you, though. Of course, New Braunfels located 45 miles south of Austin. So stay on KXAN. We'll have the latest at 6. A live look at traffic now. I-35 near Breaker starting to slow down. That's from our TechStot camera. More news and weather straight ahead on KXAN. Stay with us.
Outlook coming up in 90 minutes on KXAN News at 6. We'll see you back here then.
All right, and we will also update you from that situation, that latest brush fire down in Comal County. We just showed you those pictures from the chopper. We'll see you again here at 6 for more of today's local news and weather. Keep it on KXAN for NBC Nightly News at 5:30. Access Hollywood is coming up next. Thanks for being with us.
KXAN, NBC Austin.
Haley, thank you. To the courtroom now. He is accused of murdering a 16-year-old in a drive-by shooting. But today, the court proceedings for Manuel Cortez ground to a halt. KXAN's Santa Henderson is live now with more on today's hearing. Santa?
For Chris, the attorney for Manuel Cortez says the
Can the Longhorns pull it off and become national football champions for the first time in 36 years? I'm Robert Hadlock along with Roger Wallace live in Pasadena, California at the Rose Bowl. More coming up.
And more fires, more devastation. We'll look at the toll it's taking right here in Central Texas.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
And good evening to you. I'm Chris Willis. It's becoming all too common in Central Texas. Another day brings another string of grass fires, and one in particular today took a deadly toll. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is here with our top story. Jenny?
Chris, firefighters have been busy all over our viewing area today. You're looking at just one of the many grass fires they've had to battle. But as they were battling another blaze, they came upon a tragic accident. First, a fire in southeast Williamson County that scorched acres of land near Copeland. Then a grass blaze in Taylor, which took crews several hours to fight. 200 acres burned in New Braunfels. Then a call for fire crews to 360 in Westlake, to what turned out to be much more than just another blaze.
It looked like a brush fire. As we came over the hill, there was a lot of brush burning and smoke, and that's what it looked like. Now we know there was a car that was in the middle of it, probably, and the car started the fire, and then of course there was the person in the car.
Around 2:45, a Toyota going north on 360 crossed over into the median, lost control because of the dry grass, crossed the southbound lanes, and then skidded down into this embankment, sparking a grass fire on its way.
Two passersby, a bicyclist and a motorist, tried to pull the man out of the car. He was very combative, and they were unable to get him out of the car before it caught on fire.
The man, who they were unable to identify at the time, died in the blaze. Because of the dry conditions, the fire spread very quickly. It burned about the length of a football field along 360 and 45 feet into the embankment.
And that's just an indicator of how dry it is. The fire just runs as fast as the wind can push it.
Now, deputies say the car's identification number showed a woman owning the car, not a man. They don't know how he crossed into the median in the first place and are still investigating the crash. Meanwhile, firefighters were able to put out all of the hot spots in that area within a few hours of putting out the fire. Chris.
Jenny, thank you for that. The Forest Service says grass fires across the state of Texas have killed 3 people, burned more than 200,000 acres, and destroyed at least 250 homes. All this since the start of the holidays. Today, Governor at risk. If you have any information, you're encouraged to call police. New at 10 and caught on tape, a pair of Austin robbers made off with $90,000 worth of jewelry. Take a look. A representative from Samuel's Diamond Store in the Highland Mall says the 2 men distracted an employee Monday, and one crouched behind a counter and made off with the merchandise. So far, Austin police have not released a suspect description. Tonight, the store is offering a $5,000 reward in hopes of catching the 2 robbers. Time now to take you live to Pasadena, California.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
It is time to halt the hype and hit the field. Longhorns ready for the national spotlight in the Rose Bowl. We have live coverage for you coming up. Closer to home, wildfires still creating problems for local firefighters. A bizarre blaze causes destruction in Creedmoor. And families demanding answers this afternoon. Triumph turns to tragedy in the wake of a West Virginia mine disaster. A lot to cover. Good afternoon. Welcome to News 36, first at 4. Breaking news to get started in North Austin, where a car has smashed into a Chinese restaurant. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is live with the latest. Jenny, what can you tell us?
Well, Chris, if you want to just take a look right here behind me, you will see this Suburban that crashed into the front of the Chinese restaurant. And it happened just after 3 o'clock today. Now, the fire department just told us there were 3 people inside the car. All of them are okay. It includes 2 children, one that was in a toddler seat, except there is one death. Apparently, it was a person who was inside the restaurant and got hit when the car crashed through the front door. Now, police are not giving us very much information at this time, but I did speak to some witnesses. One woman who was driving by the man said she saw him drive by in the Suburban with his kids. He did not seem to be going too fast. She just saw him crash through the front door. They don't know yet any more injuries that occurred at this time, but as I said, the 2 kids that were in the Suburban are okay, and there is 1 person dead inside the restaurant. We will bring you the very latest information as it becomes available. Reporting live from Northwest Austin, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Jenny, thanks. We'll see you at 6. Now to our top story. Today is the day Longhorn fans have been waiting for. Tonight, the team shoots for a national championship. It is the first since 1970. Robert Hadlock and Roger Wallace have been following the Horns on the road to the Rose Bowl. Robert joins us live now.
American people.
The president's remarks came after a Pentagon briefing. All right, now an update on that breaking news we want to tell you about in North Austin. An SUV crashes into a Chinese restaurant. Jenny Hoff is live. What's the latest, Jenny?
Chris, 1 person is dead today after this SUV crashed into the Chinese restaurant shortly after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Apparently, somebody was standing near the door when the car crashed in, got trapped into the SUV, and died shortly thereafter. Now, witnesses tell me the driver of the SUV was not swerving or speeding. There was 2 kids in the back seat. We don't know if he just wasn't paying attention, but he drove right through the front door there. The children were able to get out unscathed. The driver got out unscathed, but that 1 person inside did die on the scene. Now, we're still waiting for police to give us more information and how this could have happened. But that's the very latest for now. We'll have more for you later at 6. Reporting live from Northwest Austin, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
All right, thank you for that. Boy, you see that grand opening banner on that restaurant, too. So Jenny will be along with the latest straight up at 6. For right now, though, a short break, and we're back with more after this.
Tonight, the latest on the
news at 6.
All right, Jim, thank you. And we'll see you again here at 6 for more of today's local news and weather, including that breaking news in North Austin that has now become a fatality. Keep it on KXAN for NBC Nightly News at 5:30. Access Hollywood is coming up next.
I'm Rich Parsons live at Schultz Beer Garden. You think folks down here are ready for the big game? Check this out. Texas! Enough said. Back to you.
There's our finished product, Texas football national champions 2005.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Someone said there's a football game today. The Longhorns have arrived, and boy, is it ever tailgating time. We have live team coverage for you.
The forecast is coming up.
Jim, thank you for that. In other local news, there's been a death at a local restaurant after an SUV crashed through the front doors. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is live at the scene near 183 and Breaker. Jenny?
Chris, at about 3 o'clock, a man walked into this Chinese restaurant behind me to see if it was open. It wasn't, and as he was leaving, this SUV crashed through the front doors and killed him instantly. Now, inside the SUV was the man who was a driver and 2 children. One of the children was in a toddler seat. Now, a woman I spoke with was driving right by the driver before he crashed into the restaurant. She said he wasn't speeding, he wasn't driving erratically. He literally went just right through the front doors. Now, next door to the restaurant is a ballerina school where 15 little girls were practicing when the crash happened.
All we heard was a huge crash, and we all looked out the window to see what had happened, and we saw the car through the glass window. And you could smell sort of the burning rubber type thing. So we all rushed out, and there were 2 children in the back.
Now, witnesses were able to get the children out safely. Apparently, the driver also walked out unscathed. The only person really injured in this accident was the man inside the restaurant who was hit when the SUV crashed through. Now, right now, police are still talking to the driver to find out exactly how this could have happened. They're going to take this vehicle out once they can get it removed and check to see if maybe the brakes went out or if there were any technical difficulties. Meanwhile, they're waiting for the medical examiner to show up before they'll identify the man who was killed. Reporting live from Northwest Austin, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Jenny, thank you. Fire takes out a home and 2 businesses in Travis County. Find out what common appliance sparked those flames. And an emotional Central Texas reunion will explain what kept this Dripping Springs man parked in his van for 2 days while his wife launched a frantic search.
This is it. It's just about time to play this Rose Bowl game. I'm Roger Wallace in Pasadena. I'll have a report coming up.
Care.
An overnight fire burned through a home in the South Travis County town of Creedmoor. Firefighters arrived at the scene around 9:30 last night. Officials say a light short-circuited or overheated, setting a tree on fire. The flames spread to a mobile home, a storage facility, and a body shop that caused a secondary explosion. Firefighters were able to get the flames under control pretty quickly. All 4 people living in the mobile home got out safely. A missing Dripping Springs man who suffers from Alzheimer's disease reunited with his wife this afternoon. Austin police officers found him and his dog parked on the side of Highway 183. KXAN Hill Country reporter Connie Swinney joins us live with details about the reunion. Connie?
Well, Chris, 74-year-old Granville Odell Hendricks is known as Slim to his friends and family. His wife Shirley expressed relief about his safe return.
Oh, I love you.
The pair reunited this afternoon at a McDonald's in North Austin. The search started when Hendricks failed to return Monday from the Dripping Springs post office. All he had with him was a light jacket and his pet poodle named Sugar. Family members called police, posted signs, and waited. Around lunch today, Austin police found him in his van out of gas, and they ran his place. They took him to the restaurant where he ate and eventually met up with his wife.
I didn't know I was lost until early this morning, I think. Let's go home. I'm ready.
Hendricks is on medication for Alzheimer's disease, and his wife told us that she would like to continue taking care of him at home. But she also said that from now on, she will always go with him when he's running errands. Connie Swinney, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Your weather forecast is coming up next here on KXAN. Temperatures this afternoon, despite a front, close to 80 degrees down in Flatonia, 70 there right now in southern Fayette County, and still very nice. This isn't much of a January cold front. Currently 70 in Llano and Lockhart, 69 in Walburg, and at Fulmore Middle School in South Austin.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
A big win for the Horns and a big thrill for the fans as a 35-year drought ends in the form of a national championship. There's no respite from terror in Iraq. U.S. soldiers and dozens of Iraqis fall victim to bombs. And a controversial television comedy is making waves before it even hits air. The story behind the Book of Daniel. Hi, everyone. But first, at 4, Austin is still basking in the glow of a national championship. Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Vias. Many Longhorn fans weren't even born when the team won its last national college football championship, but they'll remember this one for a very long time. Sports anchor Chris Stipes joins us with more on that.
1970, UT's last national championship. They've now won 4. We often hear the term one for the ages. Heck, this was 2 for the ages. Why not? So often big games fail to live up to all the hype. In the case of the 92nd Rose Bowl, the Longhorns and Trojans not only lived up to it, they jumped right over it, instantly become
victory. Right. So much to talk about. Everyone saying, just give it to Vince. And here in the heart of the Longhorn country, the celebration erupted the instant Vince Young scored that winning touchdown. And the pandemonium started through the night. KXAN's Rich Parsons survived it. He's live with more. And you also got kissed by a fan, Rich.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming. That's just how crazy it was out there. It was absolute mayhem. It was a lot of fun, though. Within minutes of the biggest win in Longhorn history, students, fans, and Texas Exes burst onto the drag by the thousands. So many people poured into the streets that Austin police had to shut down Guadalupe from Dean Keaton to MLK. They say they did that to keep folks from getting run over, not to calm the party. Many of the students say they've been waiting their entire lives to celebrate this moment, many not even born the last time the Horns took the top spot in college football.
My father was here in 69 and 70 when they...
Michelle?
The city of Austin, definitely a class act. Thank you very much, Rich. Well, the game is over, but the rush is on to get those T-shirts, hats, anything that screams the Longhorns are the national champs. Let's go live to Sally Hernandez, who's at the University Co-op. Sally, can you even grab a T-shirt there? Or is it so crazy they're all out?
Michelle, I can barely hear you because the crowd here is pretty electric out here. I mean, right now is the calm before the storm. You have people who are surrounded this table right here. You have workers who are on top calling out the sizes of the shirts, and then you have people waving their arms in the air saying, yes, I want a medium, yes, I want a large, whatever they want. They're getting it. People saying hi. The crowd's really friendly here. You guys are pretty patient, too. A lot of Longhorn fans obviously waiting for that shirt. Let's see that shirt that you've been waiting for. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that going on around here. You know, and last night, the University Co-op, they were putting on the shirts on the shelves even before the game ended. Let's take a look at some video that you could see right there. People just started rushing into the store around 11:30 last night, and it hasn't stopped since. In the past 24 hours, they've sold about 5,000 T-shirts. Pretty big accomplishment here. And things are selling out within a matter of minutes.
This table had shirts stacked beyond the top of the mannequins, and even some shirts beneath the table for, it lasted about an hour and a half.
All right, we are back here live at the University Co-op. Right now, they're handing out some more shirts. They are getting new shirts arrivals every hour on the hour. That's why you have people waiting here, just standing, waiting for that perfect shirt. We'll bring you another live report tonight at 6 o'clock and see how things are going over here. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Sally. I hope you bring us some back. Well, Mac Brown and the UT coaches are scheduled to arrive back in Austin in the next couple of hours. The players will return later, but a rush of very excited and very tired fans started coming back early.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news first at 4.
Right now at 4, a fire damages an Austin radio station, injuring several police officers. The controversy over NBC's The Book of Daniel is building up to tonight's debut. Austin church leaders weigh in on this hot topic. And the serial murderer, the railroad killer, finds out his date of death. Topping KXAN first at 4, a 3-alarm fire overnight knocks a radio station off the air and sends 3 Austin police officers to the hospital. KXAN Sally Hernandez is live in the newsroom following the latest in this investigation. Sally.
Yeah, Michelle, it was a pretty big fire. To one of the rooms, there was extensive damage. That building is where the community radio station, the Co-op 91.7, broadcasts from. From the outside of the building, you can't even tell that there was a fire, but inside the building, man, that's a whole different story. Let's take a look at some pictures that we shot earlier. You're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. The building is important to the arts. Besides the radio station, you have musicians and artists. They rent space there, and there's even a dance studio inside. The fire started around 12:30 last night. A lot of the rooms inside the building have lots of smoke damage. Once again, the Co-op radio station 91.7 off the air for now. And, you know, the loss of the damage, the radio station, the building, the space, all of that was caused because somebody fell asleep while smoking a cigarette. Back to you.
Thank you, Sally. Well, right now, Austin fire investigators are still combing through debris for a cause of this overnight fire in northwest Austin. Witnesses called 911 about 2:30 this morning to report the fire at the Spicewood Springs apartments. Firefighters contained the fire to the clubhouse and workout room. Damages are estimated at $225,000. No one was hurt. Some breaking news right now out of Chicago. This live feed is coming from our sister station, WMAQ. Now, the fire is spreading quickly through a church located in Chicago's South Side. That's a live look you're looking at. The fire started within the last hour and has swallowed up the Pilgrim Baptist Church. Our NBC station in Chicago says firefighters throughout that area have responded, making this a 4-alarm fire. So far, there's no word on what may have caused this fire, and no injuries are being reported at this moment. KXAN News was there as firefighters in Round Rock worked to stop this house fire. Flames shot through the roof, destroying this house in the 4500 block of Crest Ridge Drive around 6 on Thursday night. Everyone inside the home got out safely. The investigation into a cause continues at this hour. Well, we are still talking about a dip into his SUV. Hundreds gathered to pay their respects today to a local civil rights leader. Next at 4, we're remembering Hazel Obey's contributions to our city and across the U.S. Also ahead, postal prices are going up again. We'll tell you how much more you'll be paying on Monday for stamps. And separated by a storm, a New Orleans evacuee family meets for the first time right here in Austin. KXAN has the exclusive.
NBC.
There it is, a live picture of the UT Tower all lit up in orange. The Longhorns are the national champions, and the celebration here in Central Texas are far from over.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Michelle Vias. Robert is headed back from the Rose Bowl. Longhorn coach Mac Brown is back in Austin tonight, and what a souvenir from his trip to the West Coast.
Way the 7-day forecast coming up.
Well, you may have noticed tonight traffic south of Austin was backed up for more than 3 hours tonight on the southbound lanes of Interstate 35. Traffic was diverted after a pedestrian was struck and killed in Kyle. KXAN's Jim Bergamo joins us live from the scene with that. Jim?
Well, Michelle, as you may be able to see behind me, traffic is moving smoothly in the southbound lanes of I-35 here in Kyle, but that certainly wasn't the situation for several hours earlier this evening. Why? Well, because for the second time in a week, a pedestrian trying to cross the southbound lanes of I-35 on foot is struck and killed. Let's go to the video we shot earlier this evening. Now, police say witnesses told them that it was about a little after 6 o'clock when they noticed a woman walking along the shoulder of the road in the southbound lanes of I-35 in Kyle when she then started to walk across the interstate. They say she made it past the first 2 lanes successfully, but by the time she got to the 3rd lane, she was struck by numerous vehicles. She died on the scene. Police say they found no abandoned vehicle in the area, so they're not exactly sure why the woman was trying to cross the road. They did find identification, which lets them know she is from Austin. However, they're withholding her name pending the notification of next of kin. Now, if we can come back live, we can show you again traffic moving smoothly, but that certainly was not the case because for 3 hours tonight, all 3 lanes of the southbound lanes of I-35 near Kyle were closed down, and they were diverted to this access road that we're on, exit number 213 to be specific. Now, I also mentioned that this is the second time within a week that we've had this happen. You may recall that it was just 8 minutes after midnight when an Austin man was struck and killed when he tried to cross the southbound lanes of I-35.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
Sentencing day, a local mayor finds out his punishment for stealing from his city.
Everyone is still talking about Vince Young's decision to go pro. Did he do the right thing?
And first at 4, a geyser of water in North Austin. KXAN Chopper 36 gets the view you can't see anywhere else. The water line break in North Austin caused a spectacle and some inconvenience.
That explosion of water happened off of Mopac near Palmer Lane in North Austin. KXAN Silva Harapetian is there live with our top story. What's the status right now, Silva?
Well, Robert, they were able to shut the water off about 45 minutes ago, and city crews, if you look behind me, are now trying to work to fix the problem. But for about 5 hours, it was a spectacular sight. We can show you some video we shot from Chopper 36, but also ground crews also shot some video. It was just something else to see. It was shooting up in the air about 100 feet. The geyser technically stopped traffic at some point on Mopac, brought out the curious. But everyone wanted to know what exactly happened. What apparently city crews showed up here early this morning trying to fix the leak. Apparently somebody ran over a valve that was above ground on Friday, and as they were trying to shut the valve to close the valve to shut the water off, apparently that entire valve broke, and yep, that's the result that you see for 5 hours of pretty sight to some customers.
I'm Michelle Bias, live in the KXAN studio. Here's what we're working on for KXAN News at 6. A mishap turns into a tourist attraction on the city's north side with this spectacular water main break. See more of Austin's mini geyser at 6. And more trouble for Tom DeLay. Hear why an Austin court says he should go to trial on money laundering charges. KXAN News at 6 is coming up right after NBC Nightly News.
Well, the big celebration is set now, finally. Find out when and where you can join UT in congratulating the Longhorns on their national championship.
A precious resource on these dry days wasted. We'll show you what sent this surge of water shooting into the sky in North Austin.
A breathalyzer that you can strap to your ankle. Check out that gadget and more, geared to track the criminals on probation and on parole in your neighborhood.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
A waterline break creates a spectacular sight today in North Austin. It happened off of Mopac near Palmer Lane. KXAN Silva Harapetian is live at the site where city crews have been working all day to get things under control. What's the latest now, Silva?
Well, Robert, this is where it all happened. That's the valve back there causing all of the chaos today. As you can see, city crews now finished working on it at this hour. But let me tell you, for a while there, it was a sight to see.
Look pretty neat.
It looks pretty, but take a second look and you'll know it's not supposed to be there.
It's pretty to me. I don't think it's pretty for my pocket, for my utility bill.
A geyser off of Mopac near Palmer. For several hours it slowed traffic and brought out the spectators.
I called him and he just didn't believe me. So I came up here with him and he saw it from way down the road, from past on the other side of Palmer, and he just couldn't believe it when he saw it.
I think it's been like over 100 foot several times.
What's that? You want to know what happened? There are some pipe connections and some valves sitting above ground right there. Now that concrete dome is supposed to protect it. Well, someone on Friday ran into it and caused a leak. City crew showed up today to fix it. They used this thing right here. This is the valve key to shut off the water. Well, that didn't quite work. The water line broke as these workers were standing right on top of it. Can you see the pressure? Can you imagine that? They're lucky to be alive today.
No, nobody's gonna get hurt.
Luckily, no one was hurt, at least not physically. But this restaurant ached for customers.
During lunchtime, obviously, nobody's been able to get there.
Next door, the car dealership looked more like a car wash, and the Rainbow Play system, well, it saw a rainbow, but no one came out to play. Well, it took the crews a while to figure out how to finally shut the water off in order to do the work. And once they figured that out, it only took them a few hours to actually take the whole situation under control. About 20 businesses along Mopac did not have water up until about 4:30, and they are now back to business. Live in North Austin, Silva Harapetian, KXAN, NBC Austin.
And now, Jim Spencer with your first warning weather forecast.
Well, I'll tell you, we may have a little water falling.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
In each instance, I did it because that's what I thought the law required.
On the hot seat today, hear what Supreme Court Justice nominee Samuel Alito has to say about a woman's right to choose abortion and other issues important to you.
Drugs and murder. The new information released today about a killing that shocked the Austin community.
First at 4, kids and arson. Why Austin fire investigators say an 11-year-old is to blame for 2 fires at a North Austin complex.
Good afternoon, everyone. The 2 arsons in the same apartment building last month led investigators to one of its residents.
KXAN's Rich Parsons is live at the scene with today's top story. Rich.
Robert and Michelle, you can see that the notices are still on the fence here. Back to you.
Rich, thanks. A cigarette is blamed for this fire earlier today at a Fort Worth apartment complex. Investigators say a woman smoking cigarettes on her balcony threw out a butt, sparking this 2-alarm fire. Flames destroyed at least 12 units at the complex. It caused an estimated $1 million in damages. Nobody was hurt.
An update now about a gruesome murder that took place on UT's West Campus over the summer. Drugs, both legal and illegal, were found in the body of Jennifer Cave. That's according to the final autopsy from the Travis County Medical Examiner. KXAN Santa Henderson joins us live with just what that autopsy shows. Santa?
Well, Michelle, there were several types of drugs found in Jennifer Cave's body. Now, the former UT student was shot to death, stabbed, and parts of her body sawed off. Another student, Colton Petoniak, is accused of the murder. Now, Cave's autopsy shows the drug methamphetamine was... Now, she has been released from the Travis County Jail, but as for Petoniak, he's still locked up. His bond is set at $1 million. Right now, he's going through the pre-trial process. He is still awaiting trial. We'll have more on this story as information develops. Live in the newsroom, Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC, Austin.
And 2 men are behind bars on a combat team of the 4th Infantry Division.
A dog food scare today. Find out what has pet owners so worried and if your dog is in danger. And the river runs orange. Does the Texas Longhorns National Championship have anything to do with this oddly colored water in North Texas? We'll have some answers for you.
She was my little angel.
A 14-year-old Austin girl murdered in Houston. Hear her family's words of warning.
Arson in Austin. The suspect just 11 years old. Find out how investigators connected her to the crime.
It's been a long drought, and our trees and gardens may not show the damage until later this spring. How you can keep your lawn and garden alive, coming up on KXAN.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening, everyone. A 14-year-old Austin girl is murdered. Detectives think 2 men in Houston put her in the trunk of their car, then shot her when they tried to escape. KXAN's Jenny Hoff spoke with the girl's family today and shares their advice to all families. Jenny?
Michelle, Saturday morning, a motorcyclist in Houston found a little girl's body on the side of the road. Well, that body ended up belonging to 14-year-old Xochitl Diaz, a middle school student from Austin who had gotten into some trouble about a year ago and was sent to a rehab clinic in Houston. It was from that rehab clinic where she escaped right around Christmas and met 20-year-old Julio Falcon and 23-year-old Gilbert Rodriguez. Those 2 men are now charged with capital murder. Police say after an argument with the girl, they put her in the trunk of their car and then shot her in the head. But her brothers say, in a way, they blamed themselves for what happened to their baby sister.
If you have little ones that look up to you, just watch out. Be careful what you teach them. Because they can grow up to be just like you or even worse. And you never know what the child is thinking.
Xochitl's body is now at the Mission Funeral Home in Austin. We'll have much more with her family tonight at 10. Robert.
Fire investigators have a suspect in custody now for 2 suspicious fires last month. And get this, she's an 11-year-old girl. Investigators say she set both fires at her building at 1801 Wooten Park Drive in North Austin. KXAN's Rich Parsons is there live with more. Rich?
Easy. Nobody deserves to get their life cut that short. And she was a perfect little girl.
A 14-year-old Austin girl killed in Houston tonight. Her family speaks out.
And an 11-year-old girl in Austin in custody for not 1 but 2 arson fires.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
First tonight, a family reacts after a 14-year-old Austin girl was murdered over the weekend in Houston.
2 men are behind bars charged with a crime, but that does nothing for the family of Xochitl Diaz, who will never see her family again. KXAN's Jenny Hoff spoke with the family and is here with tonight's top story.
Michelle, this is a senseless murder, but it's also a story of a troubled youth and one anyone with children or younger brothers and sisters should definitely hear.
She didn't deserve this. She was my little angel.
Saturday morning, a motorcyclist in Houston found 14-year-old Xochitl Diaz's body on the side of the road, a bullet hole in her head.
She didn't deserve that.
Police have charged 2 Houston men with capital murder. They say Julio Falcon, allegedly Diaz's boyfriend, and Gilbert Rodriguez put Diaz in the trunk of their car Saturday morning. They say that's where she spent her last minutes of life before the men allegedly shot her in the head and left her on the side of the road.
We never heard anything about these men. I don't know how she met up with him, or she just needed a place to stay while she was on the run.
Austin parole officers sent Diaz to a rehab clinic in Houston after she got mixed in with the wrong crowd and started getting into trouble, something her older brother Hector blames himself for.
And she would always tell me that she needs me while I was in jail, and I would cry because just to know that I was locked up and I couldn't be there for her. And about that time when I got out, there wasn't nothing I can do to her. She was too far in.
También mis hijos no eran muy buena influencia para ellos.
My own sons weren't good influences on her. She saw them do it. I want to say, not to parents, but to kids. If you're an older brother, don't do drugs in front of them.
The baby of the family, Xochitl laughed often and looked up to her older brothers.
She was dragged away from us, slowly but slowly. She disappeared.
Xochitl's brothers say they wish they could go back in time, change their own actions, change their baby sister's fate. But they say she's changed them forever and ask others to do the same.
If you have little ones that look up to you, just watch out. Be careful what you teach them. Because they can grow up to be just like you or even worse. And you never know what the child is thinking. Just please try to be the best positive role model you can be.
Diaz's body is now at the Mission Funeral Home in Austin. Her funeral will be Friday morning at the Cristo Rey Catholic Church. To watch more video of what her family has to say, you can log on to our website at KXAN.com. Robert?
Final autopsy results are in now after a murder last August on UT's West Campus area. Former UT student Jennifer Cave was shot to death, stabbed, and parts of her body sawed off. Another student.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news first at 4.
Flames gut a Travis County home as the fire threat rages on here in Central Texas.
Austinites think clean energy and savings, and now more have a chance to do just that. I'm Connie 20. I have details coming up.
South by Southwest, we have your chance to get involved in one of the city's biggest events. Good afternoon, everyone. First at 4, fire officials believe a fire that destroyed a northwest Travis County home overnight was an accident.
The home belongs to the dean of the University of Texas McCombs Business School and his family, and they say the home smoke alarm is what kept it from being a deadly fire. KXAN's Rich Parsons is live with the latest on our top story.
Robert and Michelle, no one was hurt, and fire officials still aren't sure exactly what sparked the fire at 8009 Long Canyon Drive, but they spent much of the day mopping up hot spots out there. Right now, they suspect an unattended candle or possibly an electrical problem in a home office sparked that fire. Fire officials say the house is a total loss and estimate all damages top $500,000. Pam Gow was the only one home when the fire broke out about 1:30 this morning. She says she heard the smoke alarm, grabbed the dog and the car, and got out.
Smoke alarm went off, and I went in and I thought there's a light on the little office room. And I went in and looked and I saw flames, so I...
On that tonight at 6. Michelle?
Thanks, Rich. Well, another reminder of the severe fire danger. An emergency vehicle crashes and starts a brush fire near gas pipelines. Take a look. It happened off 812 and 973 this afternoon. All it took was the heat of the car landing on dry grass to spark that blaze.
Obviously, there's dry conditions behind us, so any vehicle that's been running that parks over it, in this case, had an accident. It obviously sparked the grass fire here.
The wind then carried the flames within feet of gas pipelines, which luckily were empty. The driver of the car made it out without any kind of serious. Have much more on this story. Good scoop there.
We're going to see you again tonight on KXAN News at 6. We'll have more local news and weather, and Roger, of course, with more on the Longhorns.
Yeah, keep it right here on KXAN for NBC Nightly News at 5:30. Access Hollywood is next. County home destroyed, but a neighborhood saved. Hear how the homeowner escaped and what stopped the flames from spreading.
For the first time, wind power is cheaper. Find out how you can get in on the growing green power savings.
And a couple of botched bank robberies will show you where criminals did not cash in.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
An overnight fire claims the home of a top administrator at the University of Texas. George Gow is dean of UT's McCombs School of Business. Firefighters say his family's home is a total loss. The fire happened about 1:30 this morning, but as KXAN's Rich Parsons reports, the neighborhood escaped an even larger catastrophe.
Flames tearing through her northwest Travis County home early Wednesday morning and smoke alarm.
KXAN.com.
A woman tried to rob a bank at 6th and Congress this afternoon. Police say the black woman demanded cash at this Washington Mutual branch but didn't get it. She ran fast enough to escape capture, though. A man tried to do the same thing on Monday at another Washington Mutual branch in North Austin. He didn't get away with any cash either. Police are still looking for both suspects. What's in a name? Apparently a lot when you're running for governor. Find out why a spelling error could make election officials take a second look at Carol Keaton Strayhorn's campaign. Plus, an explosive situation will show you how police handled a grenade on a busy North Texas highway. Thanks for sticking with KXAN NBC Austin.
News at 6 continues.
Carol Keaton Strayhorn lost something in declaring her intentions to run for governor as an independent. The Y in her last name. This is the letter of intent she filed with the Texas Secretary of State's office. Well, in it, an attorney omitted the Y in Strayhorn in 2 different places on the document. Strayhorn, though, clearly includes the Y in her signature. Austin attorney Roy Minton said he takes full responsibility for the mistake. Election officials are now looking into whether the mistake will cause any problem.
Austin ranks number 15 among the meanest cities in the country for homeless people. That's according to a nonprofit homeless advocacy group based in Washington. Austin's proposed bans on public sleeping, panhandling, and loitering figured into the ranking. Dallas was named the meanest city in Texas, 6th in the nation. Houston ranked 7th nationally.
A familiar name is back on the Austin airwaves.
And reminding our listeners that 91.7 FM Co-op radio is back on air.
Co-op is back on the air after a raging fire took out the station last week. The building that houses the radio station and several other businesses received some serious smoke and fire damage. Well, now the Co-op is looking for a new home. There will be several fundraisers around town in the next few days to help out.
Weather is coming up next. Let's take a look here at the current temperatures around the area. We'll start, let's hit play on that, Laura. Coming to me a little earlier than I expected, I think. Cherokee High School, 78, almost 80 degrees this afternoon. After a cold start to the day, we saw nearly a 50-degree warm-up.
Here are the stories making headlines around your state today. A portion of a building's roof collapsed in downtown Dallas. It happened this morning at the Victory Development site near the American Airlines Center. Part of the roof was under construction when it caved. Officials say crews pouring concrete caused the collapse. No one was hurt.
Construction workers on a suburban Dallas freeway made a startling discovery this afternoon. Cedar Hill police say the worker found what appeared to be a hand grenade embedded in the pavement of U.S. Highway 67. The freeway was closed immediately for a couple of hours while the Dallas Police Bomb Squad safely detonated the grenade. There's no word on how long it had been stuck in the freeway.
With these nice temperatures, I'm afraid February
Celebration and the 2005 Year in Review. The highlights, the spotlights, and the incredible plays that made this year one for the history books.
Beautiful thing to watch.
A special Sunday sports section, Longhorns edition.
Hook 'em Longhorns!
Tonight from 9 to 10 p.m. on Austin's WB and 10:30 to 11:30 on KXAN NBC Austin. To find the
rain that's in the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Some Central Texas voters have a big decision coming up. They need to decide who will fill the Texas House District 48 seat vacated by former State Representative Todd Baxter. Well, gubernatorial candidate Carol Keaton Strayhorn picked up the endorsement today of the state's oldest teachers organization. Strayhorn is a former school teacher, but tonight she's having problems with spelling. Our Chris Willis tonight with a closer look at another problem with the candidates' election paperwork.
I am Carol Keaton Strayhorn.
The Strayhorn for Governor campaign has a little problem: spelling. On the same day 65,000 Texas teachers formally endorsed the former school teacher, a mistake was discovered on her declaration of intent form. Her name was spelled wrong. You'd think her own campaign workers could spell her name, but just to be sure, we put it to the test.
Strayhorn. Strayhorn.
But as you can see, not once, but twice on the election form, her name is misspelled without the Y. So we went straight to the top to ask the tough questions, the hard-hitting questions that could determine the future of Texas politics for years to come.
Does spelling count?
Well, spelling's important. You know, it's attention to detail. It shows that you care.
What about proofreading?
You know, you say it, and sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. You hope they do. You would hope that our leaders would.
The Strayhorn campaign says attorney Roy Mitten is responsible for the mistake. He's been that candidate's lawyer for decades. The Secretary of State's office will determine what happens, telling KXAN, quote, "We are reviewing applicable cases to make sure we act responsibly." But really, is it that big a deal?
That is absolute hogwash.
Strayhon.
Mistakes are made sometimes, and big picture, can't really take it that serious.
Well, just last night, we brought you the story of the race for the Court of Criminal Appeals. Candidate Terry Keel found mistakes on his opponent's paperwork, protested and successfully sued to have them removed from the ballot. Don't expect this mistake to rise to that level, but in Texas politics, you know, anything can happen. Obviously, Strayhorn's campaign refused to talk to us about this. They don't believe there is really anything to talk about. There is an old adage in politics: say what you want about me, just get my name right. Well, hopefully, Strayhorn's campaign will do that from now on. Michelle.
Thanks, Chris. Well, find out why Supreme Court nominee Samuel Alito's wife broke out in tears.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
A 6-alarm fire. Hundreds of North Texas firefighters working hard to put out these flames. But first at 4, the crackdown on drunk drivers shifting gears in Austin. Austin police and the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission are now asking DWI suspects where they got their last drink.
Several bars keep popping up to the answer to that question. They are all now under a massive investigation.
Back to you guys.
Sally, thanks. Well, firefighters are still at the scene of this 6-alarm fire at a condo complex in a northeast Dallas neighborhood. There are no immediate reports of injuries. Close to 100 families are now homeless. About 100 firefighters were initially called to the scene. There's no word yet on what sparked this fire in Dallas.
A hostage situation in progress. That's the crisis facing more than 300 law enforcement officers across the country.
Their bosses are not.
Welcome back, everyone. More fires are breaking out in the state of Oklahoma. The latest one is burning near Ardmore, Oklahoma. You're looking at a live picture there from our NBC station. Crews are reporting there are less resources on this fire than we showed you earlier in Marlow. This new fire in Ratliff City is spreading quickly. So far, no injuries reported.
Ranchers and cattle,
which we mentioned, is lit in orange with that big #1. Last night, you're going to be able to see it. The Longhorn celebration is not over. We've got another hour on the way. A special 1-hour edition of the Sunday Sports section is next.
Result, some fires are getting out of hand up there again today. Take a look. This is a massive fire in south central Oklahoma near the community of Marlow, Oklahoma. This thing is reported to be 2 miles wide now. They've called in air tankers from Shawnee, Oklahoma, and at least one helicopter to drop water in the fire. Speaking of helicopters, you're looking at a live view from our NBC sister station in Oklahoma City's television news helicopter, KFOR-TV. And as you can see, that fire is still raging there near the little community of Marlow, Oklahoma. Unfortunately, we have reports that homes are being threatened. Several structures have already been burned. and they're trying to get that thing under control. But look at that wind whipping around there and whipping those flames. That's the same wind that we will have here tomorrow as this front will have.
Well, things are still rather dire for folks in Ratliff City, Oklahoma. We're going to take you there now live for another look as we leave you here at 4 o'clock with wildfires really getting out of hand in the state of Oklahoma. And of course, we're not out of the danger zone yet. We're going to have more from Jim Spencer on the prospects for rain for Central Texas in the coming days, and more local news right here on KXAN at 6. We will see you then. I'm Robert Hadlock, live here in the KXAN studio, and here's what we're working on for tonight's news at 6. A massive 6-alarm fire roars through a condo project in North Dallas. Over 100 firefighters called in to help. Plus, Austin police release a list of what they say are the bars most responsible for sending drunk drivers into Austin streets. Find out why some bar owners are angry. NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams is next, followed by KXAN News at 6.
It is a deadly problem here in Austin. Now some say some area bars may be partly to blame. I'm Sally Hernandez. We'll explain coming up next.
Central Texas law enforcement dealing with a hostage situation. I'm Silva Harapetian. We'll tell you how they prepare for a real-life incident.
Imagine living in a condo with 5,000 roommates. I'm Haley Stavanoa, and coming up next, I'll have the story.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening. At this hour, there are several bars and clubs around Austin under investigation accused of distributing to a problem that kills dozens of people in the city every year. KXAN Sally Hernandez is live with the details. Sally?
Theft ring, $500,000 worth of Central Texas property stolen. This arrest of a woman at Austin's airport was just the beginning.
And police say this woman butchered her estranged husband's dog. The link between animal abuse and human violence.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
KXAN News had a crew at Austin's airport as police picked up a suspected thief on her way out of Texas. Tonight, detectives say they have more of her partners behind bars.
They're calling the group that includes 5 minors a theft ring. Police say it spans from the Austin area all the way to North Texas. In our top story, KXAN's Jenny Hoff tells us where police just found thousands of dollars of the ring's stolen property.
When police intercepted at the airport 17-year-old Shaylin Davis last month and charged her with burglary, they believed she was part of a bigger operation, but had no idea just how big it would get.
Ultimately, what we have now is 16 people involved in this series of crimes all over Central and other parts of Texas.
One of those suspects, newly arrested Nathan Anderson from Grand Prairie. Police say he was selling the theft ring's stolen goods at his Army surplus store near Dallas. His brother, who owns the surplus and did not want to be seen on camera, denies the store's involvement.
This is his first time ever being arrested. He is 27 years old. We're a family of entrepreneurs, not a family of thieves.
Detectives tell us the theft ring worked all along I-35, stealing from dozens of businesses in Williamson County.
They jumped on this forklift here and hot-wired it, came over here, picked up the piece of equipment, ran down this driveway here and ran it to the fence.
A $3,500, 600-pound Miller Bobcat stolen from RSC.
They cut the thing here and the lockbox would fall and they'd take a sledgehammer to it and go ahead and break it open and get the key.
From Mack Hike Dodge, tires, rims, and a pickup truck.
It was identical to this four-wheeler right here. It was the same color, the same size. It was a Sportsman 500 HO.
How much is it worth?
About $7,000.
In all, $500,000 in property stolen from businesses here in Central Texas and then sent up north. Police even had to rent a cargo truck in Dallas just to get all the stolen equipment back to Williamson County.
For any small business in Williamson County, whenever something like this happens, it's very difficult on all of us.
Of the 16 suspects, police say many are now behind bars. Anderson is being held on a $250,000 bond. Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Listen to this. A 31-year-old Kyle woman is facing jail time tonight for killing her husband's dog.
It started out as a domestic dispute and ended when the woman grabbed the dog and a knife. As KXAN's Chris Willis reports, the gruesome nature of this crime could send the woman to prison for several years.
This was a particularly nasty crime, and such a criminal act is not going to be tolerated here in the city of Austin.
An act simply heinous by definition, and a woman obviously saddled with emotional problems. 31-year-old Joanne Hinojosa turned herself into police just before 3 o'clock. Police say she butchered her estranged husband's dog, stabbing it 27 times.
Family violence and cruelty to animals are very, very closely related. Usually when one happens, it's not far off for the other one to happen soon after.
And that is how witnesses say this started. When Hinojosa came to her estranged husband's house, police say they argued. She took a swing at him, and he ran down the street and called police. It was then Hinojosa called the dog, took her inside, and started stabbing.
A lot of times where you're seeing domestic abuse or child abuse situations happening, you're also going to have animal abuse in those same kinds of households. So there's not anything that's going to predict the kind of person that would do that.
The dog was taken to Ben White Pet Hospital for emergency surgery. Because of blood loss and severe organ damage, she was euthanized.
This will not be tolerated, and we're going to deal with it to the full extent of the law.
Hinojosa faces up to 4 years behind bars and a $14,000 fine for family violence and animal cruelty charges. Bond was set at $30,000. Additional charges are pending.
Animal cruelty is a crime, and it's something that needs to be taken seriously. If you're involved in harming an animal, you can do felony time for that, and so it is something that we take very seriously.
The small dog, about 20 pounds, named Marty, suffered stab wounds to the lungs, spleen, diaphragm, and other internal organs. In fact, police found the dog with a knife blade still in the abdomen. Police say Miss Hinojosa also caused damage to her husband's truck and his friend's truck, and because of that, criminal mischief charges could also be filed. Robert?
A fire broke out tonight at a fourplex apartment on Kramer Lane in North Austin. It broke out in the kitchen while a family was moving in. Someone left a box on the stove which was accidentally turned on. No one was hurt. The family of 4 displaced by the fire is getting help from the American Red Cross. The other connecting units were not affected. This fire caused about $11,000 worth of damage.
Dallas firefighters battled a raging 6-alarm fire at a condo complex for several hours today. Here's a look at the multi-story complex located in Northeast Dallas neighborhood. About 100 firefighters were called to fight the blaze. No injuries were reported. Wildfires flared up outside Oklahoma City, and firefighters can blame Mother Nature. A cold front blew through the area around Ratliff City, changing the wind direction. That killed any advantage firefighters had over this wildfire burning out of control. 2 small rural towns are in the path of the flames, which have already burned some structures. Authorities have not yet ordered any evacuations.
Well, and that same cold front is headed into our area tonight, and we too will have an increased risk of fires tomorrow. Take a look at the current temperature map. It's still very mild out there.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news first at 4.
Red flag warning and breaking news. We're following a fire burning in Caldwell County at this hour and the ongoing brush fire danger as flames continue to scorch thousands of acres.
I do, but do you really? KXAN is answering your questions and sharing the secrets to keeping a happy marriage.
And we hope you're rested up after the first round of celebrating the Texas Longhorns National Championship last week, because in about 48 hours you get to do it all over again. Good afternoon, everyone. We begin with breaking news in a wildfire burning in Caldwell County.
At least 50 acres are burning near U.S. Highway 183 and Robin Ranch Road, which is about 2 miles south of Lockhart, near the Lockhart Municipal Airport. All area county fire departments from Luling to San Marcos are at the scene of this fire.
Lockhart firefighters say 30 to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts are not helping with their efforts. And on the phone with us right now is the Lockhart Police Sergeant Larry Simmons. Are you there with us, Mr. Simmons?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Simmons, can you confirm to us what's burning out there right now?
A lot of brush, field, all between the Cunningham Drive and Robin Ranch Road.
Now, Sergeant, our chopper had spotted that facility right there. We know you can't probably see it on TV right now, but it looks like a training facility. Can you tell us anything about that? Maybe some. It looks like tires burning, or what is that?
Yes, ma'am. That's the Lockhart Police Department firing range, and those tires, and that's a protective berm, and the tires are to keep any stray rounds from leaving the range.
We had gotten some conflicting reports that maybe there was some training going on there with some firing of some grenades or some other weapons that maybe have led to this. Do you know anything about that?
Briefly, I know there was some training being conducted with the correctional facility, GEO, but you have to contact the fire marshal, Lockhart Fire Marshal Department, to get more details. I'm very sketchy. That's all I know. There was some training going on.
Do you think with this red flag warning that was probably not the best thing to do in a situation like this?
I would say you probably have to contact the Fire Marshal's Department on that one.
Well, thank you very much, Sergeant Simmons with the Lockhart Police Department for joining us on KXAN First at 4. We now have Jenny Hoff with us to give us more of an update on that fire out there. Jenny?
Well, Michelle, we're waiting for the fire marshal ourselves, but here's kind of some unconfirmed information I'm getting right now. This was a training ground for officers, but apparently it was a private group from the prison that were practicing out here. Now, we don't know what materials they were using, but as you can see, it is still burning. They tell me fire officials do have it under control. We just got here a few minutes ago. KXAN Chopper 36 has been in the air now since this fire began. It started at about 2 o'clock. 50 acres of brush burned. So far, we don't believe there are any structures up in flames. Nobody is injured. No homes destroyed. But firefighters are still out here. As you mentioned, every single firefighter in the county is out here fighting this flame. In fact, the Lockhart chief told me that there are only 2 reserve firefighters right now out there for the city. So this is a very big brush fire, and Black Hawk helicopters have been dropping water on it now just constantly. Luckily, there's a water source nearby, so they were able to get that water pretty quickly and drop it on the flames. Now, I was talking to the fire department. They said they do have it under control, but as you can see, it is still burning out there. The flames are just ripping out, and hopefully nothing more will get damaged. We will give you updates as this progresses. Reporting live from Caldwell County, Jenny Hoff, KXAN NBC Austin.
Breaking news happening right now in North Texas. This is just one of a few fires that are flaring up in north of Fort Worth. This is one burning along I-35 West. Now, we've been told the southbound lanes of I-35 are closed in that area as crews try to contain the flames.
Grass fire that has burned nearly 4,000 acres of land in North Texas is now about 70% contained. The flames erupted yesterday afternoon in Jacksboro, northwest of Fort Worth. It had been almost contained last night, but a wind shift accelerated the progress. About 20 homes were evacuated, but only a few outbuildings were damaged. Firefighters in Jack County hope to have it under control by the end of today. Today's high winds have fire departments across Texas on high alert because these grass fires will travel as fast as the wind is blowing. These 3 acres burned within 10 minutes yesterday in Florence. Luckily, firefighters were able to get it under control, but a number of homes were threatened. The cause that started this grass fire, according to the Florence Assistant Fire Chief, may be a child's go-kart.
This fire day from KXAN Live Chopper 36, we're likely to continue to see. Here's another view from the chopper live over Caldwell County, just south of Lockhart, not too far from the airport, as you reported a few minutes ago. The good news is that it appears that the fire that was burning surrounding the area in which the fire started is out at the present time, so no additional structures threatened right now. Those tires likely to burn for a while, and you can see the smoke blowing off from right to left there. That would tell you that north is on your right side, south is on your left side because of that cold front that blew in this morning, and you can see that wind is really keeping that smoke just about horizontal there. Let's take a look at those winds. They are blowing across the area now out of the north-northwest because of the front that blew in this morning, and they have been strong this afternoon. Coming down a little bit now, we've seen gusts over 30 miles per hour. The current wind gusts on the order of 20 to 26 miles per hour across the area. The red flag warning, though, continuing in effect here for the next couple of hours. The winds will come down tonight, and then it will get cold, and we will have that forecast coming up.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll get back to that breaking news as crews in the KXAN newsroom continue to monitor that situation in Caldwell County. But now to the next round of celebrating the national championship for the Longhorn football team.
UT will host a huge party with fans and the team Sunday night inside Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium. If you have not seen it yet, here is the schedule now finalized. The gates open at 5:30. The program begins at 6:30. Coaches and players will speak at about 6:50 Sunday night. And the finale is set about for exactly 7:17 p.m. because of construction at Memorial Stadium. The capacity there is now down to just 65,000. The upper deck is closed for construction, so UT will set up overflow sites on the lawn outside the LBJ Library and inside the Mike Myers Stadium, which is just east of Memorial Stadium. That's where we find KXAN's Rich Parsons with a live preview. Rich.
Well, Robert, preparations are underway for this huge victory celebration right now. That, of course, will be Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. But there are some things you need to know before you pack up the kids and head down here for that big party. Joining me now is UT's interim police chief, Terry McMahon, for more on that. And, Chief, are you guys expecting a rowdy student celebration, or are you guys gearing up for more of a family event?
Well, I don't know exactly what to expect, but we are expecting a lot of people to come out and enjoy the national championship Texas Longhorns, and we're just looking forward to a great celebration event and invite people to come out and celebrate this. It's been some time since we won a national championship, and we're certainly excited about it, and we made the preparations to receive a huge amount of people here.
Are you going to treat this kind of like a game day? I mean, it could be 65, 70, 80,000 people out here. Maybe the only difference is they won't be having they won't have tickets.
That's correct. We are treating it like game day, and we hope that people do come out and celebrate. This is a wondrous time for the university, and we want them to come out. We'll treat it like game day, and we'll have some bag checks for people entering the stadium. If we do run out of room in the stadium, we have some overflow and contingency plans for that. So, you know, it's a tribute to our fans as we, January the 4th, the night we won the celebration, we had a lot of people out on the campus, and they were all just excited and celebrating, and so we hope for a joyous time just like that.
Where can people park, and what time should they get down here for this thing to make sure they get into the stadium? They don't have to utilize one of the overflow sections.
Well, obviously we're going to open the gates about 5 o'clock, and that's an hour and a half before the celebration starts. And so, you know, you come down to sporting events here at the university, you kind of know it might be a good idea to get down here a little early. But I think we'll have room for everybody, and we'll have the garages will be open, and we'll have accommodations, and the state garages I think will be open. So we're looking for a great turnout, and excited that we're going to have the celebration.
All right, Chief, good luck on Sunday. Thank you very much. UT Interim Police Chief Terry McMahon talking about Sunday's big celebration. And if you need more information on when and where to be for this big celebration, you go to KXAN.com. We have all the information you need for your Longhorn victory celebration. Rich Parsons, live at the UT campus. Back to you.
Thanks, Rich.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And you may remember the Rose Bowl we told you about, to UT alumni and their fundraiser to get them to the game. Well, those two fans actually made it to Pasadena. KXAN photojournalist Patrick Alva brings us a sports section.
In other local news, a 14-year-old Austin girl killed last weekend in Houston is laid to rest today in East Austin. Police say Ochil Diaz was killed after an argument with two men in Houston. Today, her family and friends gathered at Cristo Rey Catholic Church to say goodbye. The two men accused of killing the girl are charged with capital murder. So, where do you go? What can you do if your teenager has a drug problem? KXAN Santa Henderson joins us live with more information that could save your child's life and save you from heartbreak.
Well, Robert, you may not know it, but there's an inpatient facility in downtown Austin to help drug-addicted teens. The Phoenix Academy houses 27 teenage boys. The director says they come from across town. Tonight at 6, we'll tell you how you can help. Live in the newsroom, Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
And an update now on some breaking news in Caldwell County, just south of Lockhart there. Firefighters are battling a blaze. We're going to have more on this as they contain the blaze at this hour.
4 continues.
And more breaking news about the fire situation here in Texas. We want to take you live to North Texas, just west of Fort Worth, to Parker County. This is another fire that is been raging there, and you can see brush trucks from the Texas Forest Service at the scene as they attempt to put out the fire. They have been fighting fires all day long in North Texas, including some in Fort Worth today and in Jack County.
Yeah, this is a red flag warning, and we're taking you to a situation much closer to home in Caldwell County, just south of Lockhart, where about 50 acres have burned near 183 and Robin Ranch Road, again 2 miles south of Lockhart. All area county fire departments from Luling to San Marcos are on the scene of this blaze. We're still trying to confirm where that fire originated. Early reports were indicating that maybe the fire started at a training facility there that police use. We don't know which department, but it is certainly spread.
All right, and what you're seeing is tires that were lined up at apparently a shooting range there, and those will be burning for many hours to come as the tire fire continues.
And Jim, looking out for some more rain in the forecast.
Well, sure use it. We're not going to see any improvement in these red flag warnings that we see every couple of days with these fronts until we get some rain. I want to take you live down to Caldwell County. We have a weather station there just a couple of miles north of where that fire is burning at Navarro Elementary School in Lockhart. As you can see, the good news is the winds are coming down a little bit, averaging 7 miles per hour, but we've seen gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Other weather stations near that area with some stronger winds, including the airport in Austin, 21-mile-an-hour wind, San Marcos with a 21-mile-an-hour wind, Luling and Wimberley, again, coming down just a bit. Your forecast is next.
I'm Robert Hadlock, live here in the KXAN studio, and here's what we're working on for news at 6 o'clock tonight. Wildfires raced through central Texas. This one south of Lockhart ignited a row of tires that are still burning, plus a grass fire disrupted traffic along Interstate 35 in Fort Worth. And it's time to let your Longhorn spirit shine. See how they're getting ready for Sunday's big celebration at Memorial Stadium. NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams is next, followed by KXAN News at 6.
Untamed flames take hold of central Texas. We'll show you where fires flared up again today and just how fast they can travel in these conditions.
I'm Rich Parsons live at Royal Memorial Stadium, where the stage is set for yet another Longhorn victory celebration. Coming up, we'll tell you how you can party with the team.
From KXAN, NBC Austin, this is your news at 6.
Low humidity, high winds, and an ill-timed training drill add up to runaway flames in Caldwell County today, southeast of Austin. KXAN's Jenny Hoff begins our live team coverage on the wildfire just south of Lockhart. Jenny.
Robert, this fire started at 2 in the afternoon. If you take a look behind me, you can see that there are still some lingering flames 4 hours later. Now, what you're looking at burning are tires that belong to the training ground for the Lockhart Police Department. But apparently it was not Lockhart Police who caused today's fire. The fire marshal tells us it was a group of workers from a nearby prison who were using the training ground and using tear gas grenades on those grounds. Now, inside those grenades, when the gas heats up, it causes the outside canister to also get hot. Now, that canister was laying on the dry, parched grass, and it started a flame, which the strong winds immediately started fanning. It went over 62 acres. That's how much the fire destroyed. It even threatened at one point a nearby neighborhood and a nearby disciplinary school. Now, luckily, it was contained just a few feet before it could do more damage. I'm told that firefighters from all over the county showed up here, from every fire station, and every volunteer firefighter showed up here today to put out this brush fire that just kept burning. Now, the dry conditions and the wind played a big part in this. As we know, it has been a big danger all over the country this season. Haley Stavino is live with more of those fire dangers.
That's right, Jenny. It's not just the extremely dry grass that's causing the extreme danger. It's also the high winds that we saw all day that's been causing a scare. Firefighters say that these grass fires will travel as fast as the wind is blowing. And that's exactly what happened yesterday in Florence. 3 acres burned within 10 minutes after igniting from a spark believed to have flown off a child's go-kart. Florence Assistant Fire Chief Robert Shelton says had that fire happened today, the damage would have been 2 to 3 times greater just because of today's wind gust.
today, you could see it cover a mile in 15 or 20 minutes with this wind. And in grass like this, it could be out of sight before you even got on the scene.
Now, Florence is a volunteer fire department, but over the next several days, they are going to be staffing it 2 men a day, 10 to 6, actually for the next several days until we get lots, a considerable amount of rain. Let's go to Jim Spencer now to find out. Jim, is there any relief in sight?
We do have some rain in the 7-day forecast. Obviously, the front that blew in this morning didn't bring any rain with it. Skies have been clear all day. Look at the humidity. Very, very dry air today, contributing to these wildfires that get out of control.
Fire scorches Texas, and this area is not spared. We have exclusive pictures from KXAN Chopper 36.
It's not exactly home for the holidays, but you'll see why some Central Texas troops will now get the chance to celebrate with their families. I'm Jim Bergamo.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
Good evening. First tonight, a massive fire today in Caldwell County, just 2 miles south of Lockhart. This wasn't caused by a careless smoker, but by prison workers. KXAN's Jenny Hoff starts our team coverage of wildfire danger and explains how this fire happened.
Hours after the fire started, flames and smoke continue to billow out from what's left of a police.
KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
I'm Dan Robertson, live in Pflugerville. Some residents here are walking the picket line trying to stop a sexually oriented business. I'll have the story.
The man with the dream. Across the nation, we're showing you how Americans are honoring and learning from the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
First at 4, it's dark and dreary, but where's the rain? Here's a live look from our KXAN tower camera out in Westlake Hills. All eyes are on the skies today, waiting for something we haven't seen in quite a while. The only real sight of rain has been a few sprinkles here and there and some lingering clouds around central Texas. Despite the threat of wet weather, a lot of people enjoyed their day off from work and school outside. Is there any rain on the radar right now? Let's check in with Jim Spencer.
Actually, there is, and this is big news. Our first rain of the winter season. Take a look. KXAN live dual Doppler radar showing us very light rain now over northeastern Travis County. Off to the east, Bastrop, Caldwell County seeing a little bit of rain, and out to the west in the hill country from San Saba down into Mason and western Gillespie County. Light rain showers being the key word right there. I'm afraid this is not going to be enough to really wet the ground in most areas anyway. We will talk about when we'll see the rain in the metro area and when it will come to an end. Well, it's going to be pretty soon. We'll do that in just a few minutes.
Well, the threat of rain and those sprinkles didn't keep crowds from marching and rallying today in honor and memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Marchers of all ages hit the road at the University of Texas, then hit the road to rally to the Capitol.
As we lose our valued leaders, events like this allow us to inspire younger Americans to keep that torch of freedom burning brightly.
I learned how important Martin Luther King was to America and how he helped so much.
The more that they learn, the more they're going to be able to contribute when they're older because, we've come a long way, but we have a lot to go.
And tonight, see how and why so many Austin parents, teachers, and children turn today's holiday into a lesson.
After years of having two separate MLK parades, two Houston groups today united for one large parade through downtown. Dozens of floats and more than 50 marching bands took part in today's parade in Houston. Took an arbitrator to bring the Black Heritage Society and the Martin Luther King a planned sexually oriented business near their homes. The property developer is building a strip club, and some of the people living nearby it don't like it one bit. KXAN's Dan Robertson is live at that proposed site in Pflugerville with more on this controversy. Dan?
Yeah, Robert, the location is right here at Grand Avenue Parkway at I-35 at Pflugerville. There you can see the interstate, or really just a couple of blocks away from there. It's a booming part of the city with new businesses going up everywhere.
Stop the strip club! Stop the strip club!
But one of those new places is a planned adult club. a sexually oriented business that nearby residents say is inappropriate so close to their homes.
We all know why it's bad. It's unacceptable to expose our children to that. Have those clubs go in an area not next to our houses and our children. I don't think it's unreasonable.
Now, what may seem just a little bit ironic about this is that just across the street from the proposed...
Well, the investigation continues into an officer-involved shooting in downtown Austin. Investigators say it happened after several robberies.
There were several individuals that were robbed in the area of 10th and Red River. The suspect left the area on foot. There was a description given to officers, and according to the victims, the suspect did have a weapon.
Now, just after 10 o'clock last night, officers were given a description of the man. Bicycle officer Jamie Harville found the suspect running near 9th and Red River. Investigators say the suspect then pulled a gun and pointed it at Officer Harville. Harville fired his weapon, missing the suspect but hitting a parked vehicle. The suspect then gave himself up. Officer Harville is on leave pending the outcome of APD's investigation.
A longtime Texas Department of Transportation employee is killed on the site of a construction job. It happened yesterday afternoon in Cedar Park at the intersection of Farm Road 1431 and Baghdad Street. Investigators say 49-year-old Sean Hayes of Cedar Park was killed instantly. According to Tex. Hayes, an experienced roadway inspector accidentally stepped in front of the pathway of a steamroller. The worker operating the equipment did not see Hayes in front of him. No charges have been filed.
Tomorrow is Election Day for thousands of folks in West Austin and Western Travis County. 4 candidates are running to replace Republican Todd Baxter, who resigned his seat in State House District 48 last year. The winner of tomorrow's special election will represent the district in a spring special session to retool the state's tax system and funding for public schools. Now, in early voting, just about 4,500 voters cast ballots. That's not even 5% of the district's nearly 99,000 registered voters. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from all the candidates one last time before the polls open tomorrow morning, including the one who says the state should get out of education altogether.
Find this dog.
You won't believe the lengths one woman is going to find her.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news, first at 4.
Still no relief. Proof that Texas is still a tinderbox as more fires flare up today across Texas.
Video from KXAN helps police nab a man wanted for 20 robberies across the country. I'll tell you where detectives finally called him.
And an Amber Alert for a missing Cedar Park teenager is called off. We're live with new developments.
First at 4, breaking news, a house fire in the Travis Heights neighborhood in South Austin. For the past hour now, firefighters have been battling the blaze in the 1500 block of Alta Vista Avenue. KXAN's Chris Willis is live at the scene with the latest information. Chris.
Robert, good afternoon. They've moved us around the side of this one. You can see over my left shoulder, take a look. This is just a madhouse here on the street. Again, 1500 Alta Vista. Scott goes in, you can see special operations teams are still on the scene, a total of 7 units and 30 firefighters to this one. Scott, go ahead and go over. We'll show you a little hose here. They've got hoses running all the way down the street. Utility crews are on the scene in case there's an electrical problem or any of the street power lines. But those hoses that you're looking at right now are headed all the way down Alta Vista. That's why we're around the side here. Good news, no one inside of this house. But now the reality, not much left of this place. It's kind of deceiving. Let's take a look. Video from Chopper 36 now from the street. It looks like a 2-story house, but you go around down the back and it is 4 stories, a lot of add-ons. That's where the problem started. Firefighters actually got here 3 minutes after the call came in, went into offensive attack. 8 minutes after that, they went into a defensive mode. You can see from those pictures right now, flames shooting out the top and the wind, of course, hampering the firefighters' efforts. It started in one of the crawl spaces that firefighters tell us. They got inside and they were tearing down one of the walls and found a false ceiling. And when they saw that, at that point, they got out. They say that that's because of some of the add-ons that were done to this house. Now, firefighters tell us they're going to be on the scene all night. Right now, they're waiting for the all clear. Again, they're in the defensive mode and waiting for the all clear from the captain on the scene here to go back inside. And once they do, they're going to go back onto the offensive mode and make sure there are no hot spots and that this fire is definitely out. We'll stay on top of this one, though, and bring you the very latest at 6. For now, we're live in Travis Heights. Chris Willis, KXAN, NBC Austin.
An update for you. A missing Cedar Park teenager is now safe and back in police custody. Police believe she was abducted by her ex-boyfriend late last night.
New at 4, a suspect is behind bars connected to the robberies of several Austin restaurants. Investigators say this all started back in August in downtown Austin with the robbery of the library on 6th Street. Less than a month later, 2 other restaurants, Trudy's in South Austin and Reed's in North Austin, were hit. Police believe the same suspect struck again in South Austin at the Taji House in October and the Alamo Draft House on South Lamar in November. Jenny Hoff is following this developing story live in our KXAN news. Jenny?
Robert, those are just some of Austin robberies. Police are linking 43-year-old Lloyd Rhodes to 20 robberies across the country. Now, this is a case that has been eluding detectives for months. But a man entering restaurants, pulling out a gun and running off with thousands of dollars in cash. But the break came when he went to the Alamo Draft House on Anderson Lane. That's after he robbed the one downtown. This time he was picked him up in Los Angeles. Now, Rhodes is still in Los Angeles in jail. Tonight at 6, you'll hear from the Louisville cop about what he was doing when he saw our video all the way from Austin. Reporting live from the newsroom, Jenny Hoff, KXAN NBC Austin.
Thanks, Jenny. Well, we have some more breaking news to tell you about in the Hill Country. KXAN's Hill Country reporter Connie Swinney is live on Chopper 36 with an update on a fire burning right now in Burnett County. Connie, what can you tell us?
Well, Michelle, a number of Burnett County agents have been fighting this fire for about 3 hours. It's located off of a remote county road, 404 in Spicewood. It's about 40 miles west of west of Austin on Highway 71.
Dry and humid, not low humidity here in our area, Jim.
Yeah, very dry, no rainfall, and the high wind being the problem today. And as we were scanning the sky a few minutes ago with our Hill Country cam, as you know, only KXAN has a fixed camera out in the Hill Country monitoring the sky there 24/7. Well, as we were scanning looking for that Spicewood fire, we caught another fire that had just apparently been started less than an hour ago. Let me give you your bearings. You're looking live from southeast of Llano. And as I zoom in a little bit, there you see the water tower there in the city of Llano, the community of Llano. Now let's look a little bit back to the east, and if we can still see it, I think we can. Now, there it is off in the distance. We saw this smoke coming up, called Llano County officials. They said, yeah, we've just had 2 fires started, actually. One east of Llano, which would be this one, and another fire has started just west of the Llano area. So 2 separate wildfires keeping Llano County officials very busy right now. And as you can see, that one east, you can definitely see the smoke there off in the distance associated with that fire. Looks not quite as smoky.
An Austin police officer is recovering after he was seriously injured this morning. The officer suffered compound leg fractures after colliding in his bike with a pickup truck in the 1800 block of Ferguson Lane in East Travis County. At that location, Ferguson Lane takes a sharp turn, and residents have complained that limited visibility and speeding drivers have caused many accidents there. On KXAN News at 6, we'll have more on this dangerous stretch of road and the injured officer.
Is there any way for voters to really tell these candidates apart? Because their mantra seems to be cut property taxes, fix schools, but nobody is offering a specific plan. So how do folks tell these candidates apart?
I think the real test here is going to be where do they vote. You know, the House in particular has broken into factions, and Benson will vote with.
Just were initiated in the last couple.
Look at that big.
Now, as you listen to and see live pictures and audio from Dallas, Texas, this is actually the DFW airport area.
That's a heck of a monster brush truck.
We'll listen in for just a second as you're hearing a live coverage from a television station, KXAS-TV, our NBC sister station in Dallas, as they're covering live this wildfire that has broken out near DFW Airport. Now, this has affected at least operations on one runway there at the airport, and so there may be some travel delays for you should you be heading to or maybe connecting through DFW here in the next several hours. Again, a fire burning near DFW Airport.
This is your news first at 4.
More manpower. Local firefighters are beefing up crews with the severe fire danger. Is it stretching our resources thin?
Fake IDs, hot checks, just some of the things San Marcos police confiscate from a home south of Austin. Are you one of the victims?
And teenagers behind the wheel, why their driving could be more dangerous than you think. Good afternoon, everyone. First at 4, another day of fire flare-ups in Texas.
Right now, helicopters are helping to fight flames fueled by wind within the last hour in Spicewood. This is the same area of the fire that broke out yesterday in Burnett County. So far, no homes or structures are threatened.
A similar scene in Fort Worth, where firefighters have been busy around the clock. Officials believe a fire on Tuesday near the Dallas-Fort Worth airport was sparked by a cigarette butt. That fire caused some flight delays and closed a nearby road. Meanwhile, back here in southeast Travis County, firefighters get a real scare after a trailer home goes up in flames. That happened near Highway 183 and Tom Sassman Road. We have continuing coverage of the fire threat, beginning with KXAN's Haley Stavanoa, who is live in Mustang Ridge.
That's right, Michelle. I'm here in Mustang Ridge, where firefighters are taking lots of extra steps. That's why 6 fire trucks from 3 different departments were here, not just because, you know, the
function is to blame for a house fire in South Austin. Flames are shooting through the roof. This time yesterday when firefighters arrived at the scene at this home on Alta Vista Drive. Damage estimates at $450,000. No one was hurt.
A scary situation live on television this afternoon when the driver of a BMW had police in Houston chasing him for nearly 2 hours. The suspect then decided to go the wrong way on a ramp to Highway 59 when, take a look, he rams into a car. Inside are a woman and a baby. The irate woman gets out and lets him have it before he finally surrenders to police. Fortunately, the baby and the woman are okay. They appeared unharmed. No word yet on what sparked the chase involving numerous law enforcement vehicles and a police helicopter.
In Cedar Park, police are on the scene of an accident where a truck went off the roadway and crashed near a creek. This crash happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and police are trying to figure out why the driver lost control. Hazardous materials crews are at the scene right now trying to clean up any fuel that may have spilled from the vehicle. There is no word on the condition of the driver.
One of the state's most wanted deadbeat dads is behind bars in the Hill Country today. Vernon County authorities arrested Harry Bronsky on Tuesday. He owes more than $36,000 in child support for his 16-year-old daughter. KXAN's Rich Parsons sat down and talked to Bronsky in jail today. Tonight at 6, hear why he says he didn't make those payments. And jury selection is underway in the trial of 3 people accused of taking part in the nation's deadliest human smuggling attempt. The trio face charges of harboring and transporting
and checks at their home. KXAN's Dan Robertson is live in our newsroom with more details. Dan.
Well, Robert, the case broke with an anonymous tip to Child Protective Services, who asked police to escort investigators during the investigation. Officers entered this home on...
Be very good evidence, I think.
Now, police are unsure how the pair got their hands on information and just how many identities were stolen, but they say they know of at least a dozen victims from Round Rock to San Antonio and expect to find more. Live in the newsroom, Dan.
We are continuing to monitor wildfires in our region. These are new pictures, just live pictures actually, from KFOR TV in southern Oklahoma near the town of Tatum, where a wildfire continues to roll on, and we don't see anyone out there fighting it, so it's a serious situation not only there but here as well, as we all know. And you're watching KXAN News live at 426.
Theft operation and are looking for possible victims. KXAN's Dan Robertson is live in the newsroom with more on the arrest of 2 suspects. Dan?
Well, Michelle, the case broke with an anonymous tip to Child Protective Services, who then asked police to escort caseworkers to the investigation in San Marcos. Now, when they went in the house, they found would face long prison terms if convicted. Identity theft is a growing problem nationwide, and if you're a victim, you probably know about it almost right away when checks start to bounce and stores start to call to collect. Now, it's a long and complicated process to clear your name, so if you suspect that your name is being used as a false identity, call your local police right away. In the newsroom, Dan Robertson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
14 people suspected.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news, first at 4.
Right now at 4, Osama bin Laden's threat, the new audio tape, and the new threat against America next.
I'm Rich Parsons live in northeast Travis County, where an Austin police investigation leads a SWAT team to drugs, guns, and money in that house right there. I'll have a live report to tell you all about it.
And brutal beatings against the homeless. Austin's homeless speaks out about the dangers they encounter on our streets every day.
First at 4, a late-breaking story in the Austin Independent School District. A gun confiscated from a student at Lanier High School. Austin ISD police officials tell KXAN News they took a .22 caliber pistol from a 15-year-old earlier today at the school, which is located in the 1200 block of Peyton Gin. That's near Lamar, just north of U.S. Highway 183. We're told no one was hurt in the incident. This is the second time a gun has been taken by a student to Lanier High School this school year. KXAN News has crews getting reaction from parents and students at Lanier. We'll have any new information as it becomes available here on KXAN News at 4. We also have a warning for parents in Cedar Park. School officials there at Deer Creek Elementary School are reminding all families in that area about a threat of stranger danger. KXAN's Haley Savanoa joins us live from that location with more. Haley.
That's right, Robert. This letter went home with students from the Deer Creek Elementary School yesterday. Today it went home with more students, 5 schools in Austin.
Police all over Central Texas have been busy this week. Austin police were able to shut down a Central Texas drug and theft ring today. Take a look. This is where it was operating, out of a house on Emmanuel Road in northeast Travis County. That's where we find KXAN's Rich Parsons live this afternoon with those developments. Rich?
Michelle, check it out. This looks like a nice country home set nicely back off this road. Real quiet, right? Well, not so, say police. Police say it was a hotbed for drugs, guns, and money. And take a look at what they found inside. County Rich Parsons, back to you.
Today, Governor Rick Perry declared a disaster in every county of Texas, all 254 of them, because of the severe drought conditions. The governor is calling on the U.S. Department of Agriculture to provide disaster relief assistance for all Texas farms and ranches that have suffered economic and physical losses as a result of the dry weather. If the request is approved, qualified farm operations in all Texas counties will be eligible for low-interest emergency loans. Producers can borrow up to 100% of actual production for their losses up to $500,000. The USDA would also offer additional programs such as technical assistance to those eligible farmers. To learn more about this, you can go to KXAN.com. Let's check in with Jim Spencer, live in our First Warning Weather Center with maybe some word from relief. Jim.
Well, we sure hope so. Here's why the governor had to do that. Take a look at the latest graphic from the U.S. Drought Monitor. That's a collection of government agencies that monitor drought conditions. The entire state of Texas at some level of intensity drought. Dry to exceptional. The red color there that sweeps through our entire central Texas area, that's considered intensity 3 or an extreme drought. We know that. And look at that big chunk of North Texas and Northeast Texas and what's considered to be an exceptional drought status at the present time. And that is the highest level, and that area is expanding every week. And if we don't get some rain soon, we will be in that category before too long. We do have some in the 7-day forecast. You're not going to want to miss that coming up in just a few minutes.
Local firefighters will be the first to warn you about the dry conditions. Not only are they working harder to keep you safe, but they are also on their toes to make sure that you are not in danger, as well as them, in addition to flames growing out of control. From being aware to their surroundings and eating and drinking properly, firefighters have a lot to worry about.
So what happens is you think that you're not really hurting from a fire. You say, well, I don't need to drink as much water because it's not as hot. Well, the fact is you still have to drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, and you have to try to get some rest between calls.
Chief Smith says area fire departments have had 225 calls on grass fires in just the first 2 weeks of January. So you can imagine just how much time the firefighters are working this hard out in the field.
And Austin's new fire chief will have a tough task ahead of him today. Austin City Manager Toby Futrell named J.J. Adame the new leader for the Austin Fire Department. Adame was the Corpus Christi fire chief and had been in that department for 32 years. The 58-year-old is also the first Hispanic chief in Austin. Meet the new fire chief and hear what this means for your safety tonight at 10 on KXAN.
A follow-up now to that high-speed chase in Houston that we showed you this time yesterday. This chase went on for several miles and through 3 different counties. The suspect driving this BMW refused to stop when police tried to pull him over. And he went the wrong way on an entrance ramp on US 59. He plowed into this car that was carrying a child, its mother and grandmother. At least one officer responding to the scene is frustrated that a supervisor called off the chase.
It makes me embarrassed to be a police officer when we are afraid to do our jobs, and our jobs are to protect the public, and this is not protecting the public. When infants are injured because we don't put a stop to suspects that are running from us, committing felonies.
The suspect did surrender to Houston police, and although he was yelling at officers afterwards, he didn't say why he refused to pull over. Investigators searched the man's car and belongings but found no evidence as to why he led Houston police on such a hot pursuit.
Police have questions for a South Texas mother who wasn't at home when an early morning.
Lines right now.
And JetBlue touches down here in Austin. I'm Silva Haro-Petty, and we'll tell you what this means for you, the traveler.
Osama bin Laden speaking out. Hear what the terrorist has to say about the future of attacks on America. Next.
Out of the sky at this point.
Definitely, Jim. Thank you very much. Well, JetBlue took off in Austin today. The airline offers nonstop flights to New York and Boston. KXAN Silva Haro-Petty on Jones live from ABIA with more on what this means for your future of air travel. Hi, Silva.
Good afternoon, Michelle. This is a huge deal for travelers, also a huge deal for JetBlue. Let me show you a map we pulled off of their website. You can see JetBlue is all over the East Coast and the West Coast, and they're in the middle here in Denver and Salt Lake City, but nothing else around here. Austin, the first city in the state of Texas to have JetBlue service.
Very clean, very hospitable.
Free earphones so I get to watch TV.
Direct flight from Boston to Austin.
The first JetBlue passengers touched down at ABIA.
It's so much easier than going through Dallas or Chicago even, so yeah, so much faster and easier.
Much easier, says this couple, expecting its first child.
It was much better. Because last time I went up and down 3 times, and now it was just one.
Erica and Miguel Melendez live in Maine. He's in the Navy, and they often visit family in Texas. But they've never seen fares this cheap.
We bought the tickets 2 days prior to the flight, and we still managed to get really low prices.
The low price, also a reason for this couple to take a long-awaited trip.
I've been telling her for 49 years we're going to do this.
So we're going to do it finally.
Lil and Ron Courier plan to take a carriage ride through Central Park, making traveling enjoyable. That's the JetBlue philosophy. But with fuel costs jumping 35% this year, airlines have started raising ticket rates and cutting services. That's not the case with JetBlue.
Oh, it's tough right now to make a buck in this industry, but I'd certainly be rather running an airline that people prefer and love flying than one that they don't like flying.